not live. I'm live. Interesting. Now, where's... Uh-oh. My brain's not braining. I'm having trouble right now. Aha. No, no, go back. What happened? Whoop. Do 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 do. I'm gonna get a sip of water. I will be right back. Alright, took a sip of water. I remember you from my carnivores videos. If anybody wants to join, you can do that. But first I gotta do something. Let's see here. I'm doing pretty good. How are you? Oh, there's the food I ate earlier. I'm burping out all the gas. I need to figure it out. Edit layout. Edit layout. Cancel. This might take a second to get going. I just gotta figure out how to get the... I'm here. We need something here. I need to find out how to do the thing. That could work. What is this? 1 second. Sorry. It's glitching out right now. One second. Sorry for the wait, y'all. Sorry for the wait. Aha! I figured it out. Spelt that wrong. That's silly of me, I spelt it wrong. There we we go.
The fossil record proves evolution happened. Don't you idiots understand science? Evolution is a fact. No matter what specific topic you're discussing regarding the creation evolution debate.
Sorry for the quietness. I'll try my best. Maybe I need to do something real quick. Can you hear my voice better now? Or was it the video that was quiet? Hello? Hello? Okay. Can you hear my voice better now? Just want to make sure the stream is high quality.
Whenever an article or video is posted where the comment section's open, comments like the ones I just said are sure to appear. And those are some of the nicer ones. And I can honestly see why. Growing up the way I did, with no influence from the church, the Bible, or even any deistic religious viewpoint whatsoever, the story of evolution was so firmly established in my mind as science and fact that anyone who questioned it seemed rather untethered from reality to me. I found it hard not to view them with intellectual contempt, as anyone denying the overwhelming proof of the story of evolution based on facts like dinosaur fossils, ape-man skulls, the 98% similarity between chimp and human DNA, the geologic column, etc., seemed idiotic, to put it bluntly. I truly remember feeling just that hard.
I'm just curious, I gotta ask a question real quick. Is anyone gonna join the panel, or do you guys just want to watch? Got Mr. Slappy, that's funny. That's a funny name.
Harshly towards those I considered what would today be called science deniers. And when you feel that you have the full weight of science and an avalanche of truth in support of your beliefs, any opinion in contradiction to it seems so weak and dismissible as to be beneath serious consideration. And of course, the internet tends to encourage some bad behavior sometimes. I think of it metaphorically like a gang leader that's so sure of himself with all of his backup behind him ready to help him out whenever he wants. But what if he spun around to find out that there was no one standing there to rely on? You see, that's just what happened to me when I was finally challenged in my belief in materialism and had to present the evidence in support of it. And when I was asked what the best proofs of evolution I could muster were, I turned around with all this cockiness and confidence I could portray and found out that many of the proofs I'd put my faith and trust in.
How do you define faith? Like, everyone's got their own definition, I guess. Let's rewind that. Okay, what you said here is important.
I turned around with all this cockiness and confidence I could portray and found out that many of the proofs I'd put my faith.
Does science deal with proof? What do y'all think in the comments? Or the live comments, whatever you call it, yeah? Do y'all think science deals with proof, or do you think it's more of a, this is consistent beyond reasonable doubt?
And trust in had disappeared without me knowing it.
I don't think anyone's supposed to have faith in science. They just have to have knowledge that a certain scientific model works, predicts things, stuff like that. I don't know who has faith in evolution. What depends on how you define faith.
A hallmark of evolutionary thinking is the idea of change over time. And this notion certainly plays itself out whenever someone asks the question, what are the best proofs of evolution? Especially if we were to do so throughout history. What if we were to do that from way back in the day all the way up to the 2000s? For example, let's begin by asking that question at the time of the launch of the book that's the bedrock of modern evolutionary thought, Darwin's Origin of Species.
Hello, deconstructing Laura.
Guess which student has a better chance of getting into an Ivy League school? First, take a look at Zach. He's valedictorian.
Well, in 1859,
Yeah, not every ad that's bad. Oh, this video is nutso. Nutso. I mean, like, nut jobs are crazy people. I bet it is. I bet he's gonna say something dumb in this video. Hence why I'm here. I'm the angel that came to save the day. I'll come here, bless all of us. He's the demon.
and you might have been presented with Neanderthal man as proof of our evolutionary ancestry.
I think I know where he's going with this. He'll say, "Oh, one person made a fraud, and therefore all of evolution's faulty."
Even though they'd been found 4 years earlier and had already been declared fully human by
There's the thing, fully human. There's somebody made a chart. They have different skulls from less brainy to more brainy. They're like, this is human. These three are human. These three are ape. And in the middle, they can't seem to agree with each other. You're like, oh, it's just an ape, or it's just a human. You know, things are pretty neatly organized. At least kind of compared to a flood. A flood would destroy everything. So already these creationists are sounding pretty silly to me. Yamato, please join up. Please join up. Join. Go to the top. It's in the comments. Right there. Join. How do we get you on here? I don't know how that works. Oh, I keep hitting the inspect button. Yamato. Tomato. That's the best I could come up with. Potato, tomato. Does he want to join? I hope he does. Oh well.
by a professional anatomist. However, the release of Darwin's book fueled the search for fossils of imagined ape-like ancestors.
What do you mean imagined? I don't know if we should use the word imagined, because creationists seem to have their own definition of that they don't tell you. One time I said the word imagined about something, and Kent's like, oh, yeah, you just, you imagine it. It's imagination. I mean, that's what the Bible is. Unless there's proof or something. You know, maybe there is a God. Maybe it's watching me right now. But seriously, these people are just bizarre. Some of them are.
Ancestors of man in the evolution-believing community. And lo and behold, 4 years later, Irish geologist William King decided to re-examine the fossil skull of Neanderthal man and promptly decided that he was an ape-like creature. And many variations of this idea were...
So, that kind of proves our point, doesn't it? Because if that's in the middle, it's like we can't tell if it... And no one's really saying anymore that Neanderthals are an ancestor. They're a cousin group. But still, it's like, come on. You can't... Nobody agrees if it's fully human or fully ape. That's funny.
propagated as science and fact for well over 150 years afterwards. Today, of course, evolutionists have admitted their true humanity, which is why they're designated as Homo, which means human.
Exactly, Homo. Phantom X11 says, of course he was an ape-like creature. Humans are ape-like creatures. Well, if we go by the old naming system that's been in place for almost 100 years now, or probably longer, we are apes. I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't like the way we name things, because when you hear the word ape, you might think of orangutan, chimp, bonobo, gorilla, but most people don't think of a human like me. They're like ape and humans are both mammals, but they're separate. I kind of like that idea, but if we were to define things the way Darwin did or other people did, then yes, we'd still be apes. But it really adds to the confusion, in my opinion, because we're gonna run out of words, and we can't classify every clade if we run out of words. So that's just how it is to me. But whatever. Moving on.
Neanderthals. And definitive confirmation comes from no less than Dr. Eric Trinkhaus, an evolution-believing paleoanthropologist, considered one of the world's foremost authorities on Neanderthal man, who's concluded Detailed comparisons of Neanderthal skeletal remains
I thought he had a swastika on his arm. It's just the YouTube. Bruh. It's just YouTube, y'all. That's just YouTube.
with those of modern humans have shown that there's nothing in Neanderthal anatomy that conclusively indicates locomotor, manipulative, intellectual, or linguistic abilities inferior to those of modern humans.
Let me read that real quick. I don't know if I agree. I thought they were Neanderthals. I thought that Neanderthals were not as good as talking as we were. I'll have to look this up.
Now, obviously, humans evolving into humans isn't exactly proof of evolution. So,
What kind of art? Humans evolving into a new subtype of human? That would be evolution. Again, I don't think it's that Neanderthals are an ancestor, but they're more of a cousin. But it's kind of how evolution works. It's not just the march of progress. It's like 1 to the 2 to the 4 to the 8 to the 16. It keeps going. So this guy's really making my head hurt. I'm like, bro, you're so weird. And he ripped a book. If I did that to a Bible, people would get really mad. If he does it to an evolution book, who cares? Just go away, you know.
you can scratch them off the list, as Neanderthals certainly aren't proof positive of evolution anymore. However, moving on to 1861, you may have
Let me guess, it's just a dinosaur. Or it's just a bird. We'll see.
finally found yourself presented with some rock-solid proof in the form of a missing link between dinosaurs and birds, called Archaeopteryx.
Just to let y'all know, sometimes the news misleads us. They just make stuff up to sell paper. That's why the paparazzi harass people like Justin Bieber. And they'll say something rude, then turn the camera on, like, hey, what's up? And they'll try to get false information so they can make money. It's hilarious, but yeah. So this creationist could be weaponizing a bit of misinformation from the papers and stuff.
In 1861, you may have finally found yourself presented with some rock-solid proof in the form of a missing link between dinosaurs and birds.
Yeah, so people will say, oh, it's a myth. We found this thing that changes everything we thought about evolution. No, it doesn't. It confirms it every time, up to my knowledge at least.
Called Archaeopteryx. Good old Archae was used for decades to convince people that a true transitional fossil between lizards and birds had been found. But alas, in 1977, an admitted true bird was found which dates, according to evolutionist methods, at 60 million years older than Archaeopteryx.
Could be a mistake. We'll have to see.
Which means Archae couldn't be the transition to birds from lizards if birds already existed. Professor John Oster
Maybe they forgot to test for certain contaminated materials. Creationists, I've caught them in lies before. They could still be lying right now.
of Yale acknowledged. We must now look for the ancestors of flying birds in a period of time much older than that in which Archaeopteryx lived. Indeed, far from being some unique dino bird, Archae shared much of its supposed unique anatomical structures with true birds that exist today, like the South American hoatzin, for example. So much for Archaeopteryx as undeniable proof of evolution.
Please stop ripping the book.
So the US probably just did the coolest thing I've seen in a while. If you own a car and you're
I don't trust those scam ads. I don't trust them one bit.
Now, by 1868, maybe the most cutting-edge proof presented to you might have been the supposed shocking similarity of animal and human embryos.
I forgot. Do y'all still not want to join? Or did you change your mind? Because I would like for y'all to join. Maybe Yamato would like to join? It's in here somewhere. There it is. Okay. Are y'all trying to join and it's not telling me? Oh, I understand, Laura. You're still at work. But Yamato, you could join. Please. It'd be so cool to have an awesome guest over. I just gotta figure out how to invite people. Invite guests. I'm gonna play the video now.
And the discovery that humans recapitulated or relived their evolutionary ancestry while developing in the womb. Of course, modern science has shown that the idea that you start off
Hold on a second.
developing in the womb of animal and human embryos, and the discovery that humans recapitulated or relived their evolutionary ancestry while developing in the womb.
Depends how you define certain words. I don't think that. Hold on. I don't think that people, or like embryos, actually become a fish, then a lizard, then a rat, then a human, or whatever. But they kind of look like they do, which I guess would make sense with evolution, but not with a perfect designer. This world is crazy. Yeah, there's no way it's made perfectly, but still.
Of course, modern science has shown that the idea that you start off like a
I don't think anybody uses this as some sort of argument in favor of evolution anymore. I really don't. I think these creationists are picking at old, outdated versions of evolution that nobody really believes in anymore. So, just the Jesus people and the other types of religious people being rude, just being annoying.
a worm, then become more like a fish.
According to evolution, if we came from a worm, we still be a worm. So it's not like it's a changing kind. It's just diversification, really. So I guess I'm a worm. Proud worm, y'all. Proud worm.
Then become an ape-like creature, and finally a human while
Also, more Force Fatica, about how you say his name. He's awesome. He's very awesome.
growing in your mom is absolutely ridiculous and would be laughed at by any educated person today. And Haeckel's embryo drawings have now been
Here's the crazy part.
admitted to being completely fraudulent.
I don't know if it was fraudulent or if he just tried to rush his work, but then he kind of turned out to be partially right later on. I think Yamamoto would know more about that than I do.
Forgeries made by this supposed great scientist's own hand, and the similarity argument has been shown false as well. And yet they were in textbooks up until my youngest daughter was in school just 15 years ago here in Canada.
I don't think I like the argument from similarity. I have to study it more, but I could have sworn that like a thylacine and a dog look more alike than they both do to a whale or me. But the dog is more closely related to a whale or me than it is a thylacine. So I don't know if I like this looks like this, therefore they're related more closely. I don't know if I like that, but whatever. Maybe y'all can enlighten me in the chat.
As evolution-believing embryologist Michael Richardson concluded, this is one of the worst cases of scientific fraud. It's shocking to find that somebody once thought was a great scientist was deliberately misleading. It makes me angry. What he, Haeckel, did was to take a human embryo and copy it. These are fakes.
Maybe, but it doesn't debunk all of evolution. Maybe that guy just rushed his work to get a bit of credit. I have a feeling, hear me out guys, chat, hear me out. I have a feeling that people don't always want to brainwash you into a certain big mainstream belief like creationism or evolution. It depends on the person. Maybe the guy just wanted to commit. I don't know. I forgot what I was going to say. Hold on, let me rewind this.
Misleading. It makes me angry. What he, Haeckel, did was to take a human embryo and copy it. These are fakes.
I don't know if they're all fake. I'll have to fact check that.
So obviously, these embryo arguments are no longer
Please stop ripping the paper.
proof of evolution either.
Sorry for forgetting things midstream, y'all. I do that sometimes.
Now, by 1879, you may have felt scientists finally had the proof of evolution. As the American Journal 9, you may have felt scientists
that should be proof right there, shouldn't it? Those tiny animals are older, and they got bigger over millions of years somewhere in some continent. Come on, chat, don't y'all agree with me? Isn't that proof of evolution, or at least very, very strong evidence? What do y'all think? Tell me down below.
Finally had the proof of evolution, as the American Journal of Science published an impressive diagram showing the supposed evolutionary development of horses, which found its way into many other publications and textbooks for years. Now,
I remember what I was going to say for the past argument. So that guy who faked the embryos, he's not trying to brainwash you into evolution. He thinks you already believe it, and he probably thinks it's true too. He just wanted to make a quick buck. That could have been what he tried to do. It's just it's these frauds of evolution. I'm not buying that. There we go. My thinking is thinking again. My thinker is thinking again.
Today, this proof of evolution has been abandoned because of the many severe challenges brought against it. For example, if the series were true, you'd expect to find the earliest fossils in the lowest rock strata. But you don't. In fact, bones of the supposed earliest horses have been found at or near the surface.
Maybe the tectonic plates were a bit unstable? This creationist doesn't have good reasoning. Phantom X, would you like to join? I could probably use an extra bit of help. I'm just saying. Oh, excuse me. Oh, I'm losing watchers, viewers.
Sometimes they're found right next to modern horse fossils. But instead,
Maybe volcanic activity underground made a past layer go up. Like, I think this guy just wants creations to be true, so it'll twist the truth. That's what it sounds like to me.
instead of me listing all of the challenges here, I'll quote the evolutionist curator at the American Museum of Natural History, Dr. Niles Eldridge. I admit that an awful lot of that has gotten into the textbooks as though it were true. For instance, the most
Phantom X, give yourself some credit. I bet you could do a lot of debunking.
famous example still on exhibit downstairs in the American. I admit that an awful lot of that has gotten into the textbooks as though it were true. For instance, the most famous example still on exhibit downstairs in the American Museum is the exhibit on horse evolution prepared perhaps 50 years ago. That has been presented as literal truth in textbook after textbook. Now I think that's lamentable, particularly because the people who propose these kinds of stories themselves may be aware of the speculative nature of some of the stuff.
So some of this stuff? You telling me that there's still a good amount of good science in that? Come on, bro.
So obviously the horse evolution series isn't irrefutable proof of evolution either.
You know something I love almost as
You got PragerU ad. Wow.
much as I love America is a great deal. Also,
Proud to be an American. Rhino, we've committed war crimes for the last 300 years.
Well, maybe by 1893 they'd show you the good stuff, the so-called scientific evidence of vestigial organs inside of us. These were supposed evidence of
Oh, I think I know where he's going with this. Guys, don't listen to him. He's trash. A an organ that changed, that doesn't serve a visual purpose, can either have a new purpose or be functionless. It could go either way. But they'll say no. Vestigial organ means it has this, doesn't serve a purpose. No, so no, they can change purpose sometimes. Organs can do that. So I think I know where he's going with this.
of useless leftover parts inside us from our supposed
I got sunburned, by the way. My back is a little bit sunburned, a little itchy.
evolutionary past. And by this time, evolution-believing scientists like German anatomist Robert Widersham was claiming that our bodies contained over 86 of these useless organs, including the thymus.
One guy made a mistake, apparently, according to you, therefore all of evolution was wrong. Wow. Skyrim level up sound effect. Some logic 100.
Tonsils, adenoids, valves in veins, the parathyroid, and the pineal and pituitary glands. Of course, not only have all now been shown to be functional, but some have been shown to be critical for life itself. Today's doctors would consider that old list laughable. And over the years, the list of so-called vestigial organs has shrunk to a handful of highly questionable examples, even
I doubt the highly questionable part. Maybe there's only a few, but I'm doubting the highly questionable. You're a creationist. Why would I trust you?
within the evolutionary community itself. Even the most commonly touted of all, the appendix, is now recognized as a highly specialized
Immune system.
organ with a rich blood supply that manufactures several types of antibodies. It's not some useless relic.
Okay, so interesting orphan. I only know the things I know because I'm watching Iron Law Enforcement by Val. Okay, keep on. Yes. Oh, I agree with that, Laura. Keep learning, y'all. Learning's cool, bro. I'm hip and cool, bro. I got the learning. Okay, just enough of that.
And it's not just the fact that these vestigial organ claims kept getting knocked off the list. It's the fact that the whole concept itself is a terrible proof of evolution.
No, it's not, because if an organ changes, that's evolution. Things change. These people, I've seen Kent Hovind. He's like, well, why don't rabbits evolve wings? It's this level of stupidity, y'all. It's hilarious.
To begin with. Ultimately, evolution is about how supposedly new structures, forms, functions, and features came to exist, not about the degeneration of existing structures over time. Something that
Bro, what?
supposedly new structures, forms, functions, and features came to exist, not about the degeneration of existing structures over time. Something that used to have a function but no longer does is no direct help to the story of evolution. So these once great proofs of evolution,
Bro. Sue him. He ripped the book apart. I'm suing you.
have ended up in the dustbin as
Give me
well.
money, give me money.
Now,
Piltdown Man, that might have been a fake, but it's not like it's gonna destroy evolution. I mean, there's people who've lied about creationism. This one guy's like, oh, people think that creationism is true. They already remember, hence they already believe it. Remember that. And they're like, oh, I'll make a fake proof of a thing to add to the story of creation. And oh, God must have made this type of dinosaur on the 7th day or whatever. I don't know. And because it's supposed to fake, it doesn't mean creationism is false, right? But the creationists, they go, oh, this one evolution guy made a fraud, therefore all of evolution is fake. No, the other side, the other people who believe in evolution are sincere, I bet. See, the creationists are crazy, y'all.
by 1912, you'd finally have been shown some truly dynamic fossil evidence found in a gravel pit near Piltdown in England. The skull of an ancient ape man dubbed Piltdown Man was presented as overwhelming proof of our evolutionary ancestry.
I don't know if it was overwhelming proof. I don't know if they said that. Okay.
And for 40 years, this supposed proof was displayed in museum exhibits and textbooks as proof positive that human beings had descended from ape-like ancestors.
I bet the people who expose this were evolutionists themselves. So, the creationists don't do good science. We can't rely on them.
With hand-drawn scientific images of what the creature must have looked like. But once again, 4 decades later, the evidence was re-examined and revealed as a fraud.
These creationists, one time, they had some sort of thing with talking about human evolution for an ape. They zoomed in on this picture of bones. I guess all we found, and Aaron Raw, how do you say his name, Aaron Raw? He showed a zoomed out version of the picture to show all the bones, to expose these creationists as liars, because we've discovered a lot of human ancestor looking things. I mean, they look like they could be human ancestors. What more do you need? Like, come on, bro.
It wasn't even a good fraud, as you could easily see how the teeth from a jawbone had been filed down to make them look more human, and the bones had been chemically treated to make them look very old.
Again, that one fraud, if assuming it's even true, that was a fraud. Just that one fraud. Oh, therefore we can never trust evolution again.
It was simply a combination of an old human skull and a modern ape jawbone stuck together. So much for that proof of evolution.
Hold on one second. I want Yamato to join the group. Please tell me he'll join. Okay. He doesn't have to, he doesn't want to, but I kind of wish he would. Anything else?
But wait, by 1917, just 5 years later in the US, they found some powerful evidence for evolution when a Nebraskan rancher found what he thought was a special kind of tooth on his farm. And an evolution-believing paleontologist friend of his was
What location was that?
evidence for evolution when a Nebraskan rancher found what he thought.
I'm dumb. Let me look up Nebraska real quick. Oh, it's 2 states above Oklahoma. So it's 2 states above me because I live in Oklahoma. Yeah, I don't think anybody believes that humans came from North America. We came from Africa, right? Come on. Is this the best this creationist has?
Thought was a special kind of tooth on his farm. And an evolution-believing paleontologist friend of his was excited at the prospect it must have come from an ape man. And after an artist applied a healthy helping of evolutionary imagination to his picture...
Oh, really? Oh, go back. No.
In stock and ready to ship free the next day. Zoro.com.
Sorry, y'all, I made a mistake. Hit the wrong button.
Why is Amazon paying me
I always hit the wrong button.
$63,000 a month?
I'm
well,
funny.
I didn't make this kind of...
But wait, two artists when from thing to scientific journal, and this was touted as great scientific proof for evolution. However, several years later, scientists confirmed that the tooth had come from a pig. The whole fiasco had nothing to do with apes or people. It had everything to do with evolutionary presuppositions that drove false conclusions.
So you got these presuppositions and imagination. That's what the creationists do.
All based on laughably flimsy evidence. So you can toss that proof of evolution away as well. So we'll end here for now, but stay tuned for part 2 of evolution.
I'm not buying a word of that. Hey, what do y'all want me to debunk next? Just go ahead, tell me. Tell me right now. I love democracy. When I play Hoi 4, I usually play as the Soviet Union and go around conquering nations, but in real life, it's pretty good to have a democracy. Let us vote on what we need, on what we want, and all that. I got 3 people watching, but no one's commenting right now. It's kind of confusing me. What do y'all want to see next? Could y'all tell me? Pretty please. I can't do anything if you're not gonna tell me. I could also use somebody on the stream, so if anybody does, if anybody wants to join. I guess nobody wants to watch. Okay, well, I guess I'll pick the next topic. I love dictatorship.
This is the most atheistic generation, Generation Z,
Good. The most atheistic. Good.
that the West has ever seen. And all thinking atheists believe in some form.
What? That's not fair. I have to be able to critique their crap. Why are they gonna...
Form of the story of evolution. But how many people could be consistent atheists if they didn't believe in millions of years?
I'll go to something else.
They are lying to your kids. Nothing about DNA has helped with the evolution theory at all.
I understand that. They'll copyright strike me. It's all good. But yeah, I hate... They're trying to avoid criticism. They'll put their own music on there to get the criticism away. A package of eggplants. That's funny.
DNA, which stands for deoxyribonucleic acid, is the most complex molecule in the universe.
Most most complex molecule in the universe, Ken. We'll see about that.
Unbelievably complicated molecule.
Oh, it's so complicated, therefore it must be designed. Okay, well, then raindrops that form naturally were not designed by God. Dab on them. Dab. I'm a pro. I just debunked you, Kent. I'm much more handsome and tall and strong than Kent. I'm better than him in any way. Every way.
That little DNA molecule, average person has 50 trillion cells in their body with 46 of those little molecules in each cell.
Therefore God. Wow, such impeccable logic.
46 chromosome strands in each cell of your body. If you extracted all of it, it would only fill about 2 tablespoons. But if you took those DNA...
I'm gonna go get some cookies. Give me 10 seconds.
DNA strands and unwound them, stretched them out, tied them together, one person's DNA would reach from Earth to the moon and back over 500,000 times. Round trips to the moon. They say the DNA holds more information than all computer programs ever written by man combined. IBM models the newest computers after DNA. The quantity of information is so vast, we have to invent new numbers to measure it. Not terabytes, petabytes, or exabytes, yottabytes, and zettabytes. All the words uttered by everyone who ever lived would amount to 5 exabytes. And your DNA and your chromosome holds more information than that. It is so unbelievably complex. If you typed out the code found in your DNA, when you got done typing, you'd have enough books to fill Grand Canyon 78 times. That's the instructions to make you. I'd say you're pretty special. Quite a list of instructions to make you. David said, I will praise thee, for I'm fearfully and wonderfully made. And he didn't have...
I have bad eyesight. I'm not made very well. At least I'm smarter. Yep, Ken is so effing wrong.
Have a microscope, and he could figure that out. Yeah. You know, from conception to birth, the baby adds 15,000 cells per minute to its body. Each one is more complicated than a space shuttle. How would you like to be in charge of the supply end of supplying a factory that is producing 15,000 space shuttles a minute? And it's your job to make sure they have all the nuts and bolts and screws and everything they need to put that thing together. Some of you women are saying, boy, I did it, and that's hard too. Sometimes they want pickles in the middle of the night, you know. What are you building down there anyway, you know? The probability of one DNA happening by chance has been calculated to be 1 in 10 to the...
I doubt that the math is right.
119,000th power. That's a big number when you figure the entire visible universe is about 10 to the 28 inches in diameter. DNA has not proven anything that would help the evolution theory. It's been made the problem much, much, much worse. But let's just assume that the chromosome number means something. And that, you know, it could evolve. Okay, well then I did some research on this. I discovered penicillin has 2 chromosomes. That one had to evolve first. And then slowly, over millions of years, they got some more chromosomes, because they're complicated, you know, and turned into a fruit fly. You can see the similarity there. It's only got 8 chromosomes. And then very slowly, it evolved some more chromosomes and became either a tomato or a housefly. Very tough to tell the difference. They're identical twins, you know. And then very slowly, over millions of years, it evolved into either a pea or a bee. You can see the similarity there, you know, pea, bee, very similar. And slowly became lettuce, and then a carrot, and finally, when we got to 22 chromosomes, triplets. The possum, the redwood tree, and the kidney bean all have 22 chromosomes. Average scientists cannot tell them apart. Let's see, which one is which here? Okay, let's see, tree, possum, bean, and we have 46, folks. And if we can just get 2 more, the next step of human evolution, we're going to become a tobacco plant. I know some already smell like it. Sometimes I'll get on the elevator and I'll say, man, you're evolving, you're way ahead of me. And it probably won't happen in my lifetime, but we might get enough chromosomes
What do y'all say? I see this Kent guy's full of it.
someday to be either a dog or a chicken. They're twins too, you know. And then wait.
I have to take this phone call. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back.
Way down the road, you know, we're going to become a carp. They got double the chromosomes we do. And someday, star date 349572, we're going to become a fern. I was at a church one time, and this lady walked up to me afterwards, and she said, Mr. Hovind, I'm fern. I shook hands with that hand right there. I'll never watch it again. Hey, how come the evolutionists are always comparing things that fit their theory? Why don't they show us the things that don't fit their theory? Like, let's just say we're going to examine how things evolved based upon how long they lived. Well, we could arrange animals by how long they live, and we'll find out the hamster evolved first, slowly turned into a cat, and then a canary, and then a dog, and then a chimpanzee, and an alligator, elephant, horse, turtle, and human. We made it, folks. We made it. Let's arrange the animals based on how long they're pregnant, their gestation period. Well, in that case, the possum, only 13 days. How'd you like that, ladies? Only be pregnant for 13 days. Not bad, huh? Yeah, I'd have a bunch of kids in. Slowly evolved into a hamster, then a rat, then a rabbit, kangaroo, on down the list, and the elephant. 640 days. They are the winner. The most evolved creature on Earth. Or maybe, you can see here the cat and the dog are identical twins, you know. Maybe we should arrange them based on how much they weigh in their adult form. Well, the shrew only weighs 4 grams.
I'm lost. What is he trying to make? What point is he trying to make here?
He didn't have a microscope, and he could figure that out. Yeah. You know, from conception to birth, the baby adds maybe more DNA than mammals, and some amoeba have 1,000 times more DNA. They don't tell us these things.
Genetics is very complicated. Sometimes you can get more genes and they just mean the same thing. Because genes can be a chain reaction. Like, this gene turns off this gene. Like, it can be crazy. So Kent needs to go to school.
Because it doesn't fit their
I do
theory.
too, though. I need to learn more about these genes.
It's impossible to arrange in any sort of evolutionary series based on just one little bit of facts. You better find all the facts. You find out this evolution theory fails miserably. But they tell the kids, we're going to think critically. Boys and girls, there are 20 kinds of amino acids. That's a fact. Explain how this fact supports the idea that all life shares a common ancestor. How's a Christian kid supposed to answer that for homework for Monday? Don't you see a built-in assumption in this question? That's not learning to think critically.
How is it not learning to think? This Kent guy is such a doofus.
Would the kid be allowed, teacher, to explain how this fact that they all have 20, all life forms have 20 amino acids, would the kid be allowed to say, maybe that proves the intelligence of a common designer?
No common designer. If you think certain things mean designed, why are you taking it a step further and saying common designer? Oh, these both have the same set. That's a common designer. No, like there's different cultures on Earth that have made cars. Some look similar to each other. You know, like if it's designed, it wouldn't be a common designer. It'd be, for all you know, it could be a different designer. 2 different designers for some god genie thing could have made a frog, and some other genie fairy god tooth fairy pixie dust fart in your face creature just made humans. It's like, come on, Kent, you're not making any sense. And we've seen small scale speciation. We've seen frogs give birth to different frog species over generations in the lab, and it's probably sometimes in the wild too. It's like, come on, bro. Here, like, things mutate, things evolve. Now, admittedly, frog speciating does not prove we came from an ape, but it proves that there's the process. There's 2 things I like to talk about when I talk about evolution: the process and the history. If you got no process, you have no history. But we do have the process. And we've got ape bone things, whatever. They look kind of similar to what we have, but they're older. They're dated to be older. And unless you can prove there's something wrong with that method, I'm going to stick with it. Like, we must have come from an ape-like thing, for all we know. We can even do genetic. It's easier to test how related we are to other things with gene testing. But he'll deny that. He'll say, oh, you can see how closely related you are. Like, I could see how closely related I am to some black person from Africa or some Asian person from China. Well, guess what? Why can't we do that to other stuff, right? Bruh. You're funny. You're funny guy, or girl, or whatever. I'm not expert on the pronouns.
Maybe God gave all the animals the same
I'm out of cookies. It's all Kent's fault. So we gotta go tax him. And he'll fund our public schools and my cookies.
basic 20 amino acids so that we could.
Hey, everybody in the comments, tell me, would you love to tax one of those big mega churches and get some money? I would. I love that. I love that so much.
We don't have to just eat each other, you know. I mean, if they're all totally different, wildly different kinds, then we could only eat other humans. But see, God made it this way so the brown cow can eat the green grass and give the white milk and make the yellow butter, and I eat it and get the blonde hair. Mm-hmm. Maybe that's why there's all the same basic building blocks. Mm-hmm. Yeah. One of the lies
I mean, the same building blocks. That doesn't prove God. What?
they face in the textbooks is this idea that all these similarities prove a common ancestor.
Supposed lies in the text. No, go back. Yamamoto, I feel betrayed. How dare you have a life? I'm joking. Get some beauty sleep, man. You deserve it. You've been debunking Kent for like 2-3 years now, I think. Keep debunking. Keep it up. Let me find. You guys suggested something. I forgot what it was. Genesis apologetics. Oh, don't blast my eardrums away. Oh, Christians cook atheist teacher on human.
Welcome to class, primates. Remember, we didn't evolve from apes, but from an ape-like creature. We know this because human and chimp DNA is about 98% the same.
But do you know how scientists got that 98% similarity? They got it by comparing only the DNA strands that were similar and disregarding the rest.
I bet that kid's lying. I bet he's lying.
They didn't even count them. And when comparing the whole genomes, they're actually only 84% similar.
Then we're 84% similar. How does that debunk evolution?
Even if that's the case, that's still enough overlap to show that we came from the same ape-like ancestor.
But did you know even if we stuck with your 98% similarity number, that's still over 35 million base pair differences. And most gene mutations are so slight they don't have any impact. And for a mutation to have a positive effect, a very specific letter in the DNA has to mutate at a very specific location in the genome. Is it scientifically possible for that to happen millions of times?
It's actually not. Human evolution.
Are you sure it's not? What is this comment section? This person here's lying.
Supposedly took place in just 6 million years, but multiple studies have shown it would take at least 200 million years to establish just 2 specific mutations in a
I bet they're lying about the math. Bruh. I'm a little lost on that one. My brain is just tired.
pre-human population. Plus, humans and chimps can't interbreed and produce fertile offspring.
Yeah, we can't produce fertile offspring. Why you want to make out with a chimp? I don't know. Because we're different species. You crazy girl. You crazy.
The way 2 different breeds of dogs can.
Those dogs are the same species. Oh my goodness, this girl's crazy.
And humans live twice as long as chimps, and our brains are up to 500% larger than theirs.
Humans have
And a chimp could tear you to shreds.
2 hands and 2 feet, while chimps have 4 hands. Humans have precise opposable thumbs, so we can write and use tools.
I doubt that we were made for that purpose. Where's the proof of God?
And play.
It's just, oh, this amazes me. Oh, this box is beautiful, therefore it must be made of God. You know, it's the same logic. I guess the only reason this is created is because we know it's created. Like, we've seen factory footage. You can go to a factory and observe this thing being made. It's not made by God, it's made by humans. If something's not made by humans, it probably is natural. So, oh, excuse me.
musical instruments.
And chimps can't
What do instruments have to do with this?
speak. Their larynx is higher than ours, and they lack a flexible tongue.
Chimps don't have a conscience, follow society.
Have you seen that video, guys, of that chimp? And this woman's like, "Mama," and the chimp's like, "Mama." They can kind of talk.
Societal norms and trends, established governments. They don't create art or write books or
Therefore, we're not related? Wow, such impeccable logic.
have a sense of morality. The similarities between chimps
Do chimps, I don't know if they have a conscience. I'll have to look it up.
and humans account for a common creator, not an evolutionary relationship.
No. Even if it's true that it doesn't prove evolution, why would there be a common designer? Why can't there have been like tons of designers for different parts of our biology and Earth's geology and the laws of physics? Why does it always have to be one God, especially the Christian God? Why? They never explain this. Chimps can do human things weird. Yeah, who would have thunk?
Well, it looks like we're not primates after all.
I'd love to see a primate smack all of them in the face. Oh, roasted.
Welcome to class, Prime. 13 point. Welcome to class.
Oh my goodness, will you please work?
13 point. Welcome. 13.8 billion years ago, a dense hotspot called the Singularity marked the beginning of the universe.
I don't know much about this topic. Guys, I might need help on this if you want to join. I'm not an expert on Big Bang. Maybe the world came from nothing. I don't know. I don't care. It's not my field of study. Maybe one day I'll learn about it. They say, you can't have something come from nothing. Like, is that what your God did? They say, it's obvious God did. I'm like, oh, really? Where's the proof? God originally was just walking and talking, but then they changed him to this. If they move the goalpost, well, God's outside of space and time. If we can't debunk him, like, whatever.
Yes?
Where did the singularity come from?
Oh, it's eternal, like your God. It's eternal. Why can't it be eternal? Why can't it be eternal? God is, but eternal, but the singularity is not. These creationists are crazy, y'all. Let me type it. Cray. I don't know if that's how you spell it, but I don't really care.
Scientists are unsure. The theory is that it has always been there, or it naturally came into existence.
The laws of thermodynamics state that no new energy comes into the universe, and that energy
She could be lying. Just keep that in mind, y'all.
becomes increasingly less available to do work. With no known outside force of energy, if the universe were infinitely old, it would have used up all the energy a long time ago.
You sure? How do you know the world doesn't just shrink, expand? How do you know it doesn't do that? You liar.
Yeah, for the universe to naturally come into existence means some sort of matter or energy already existed to form the universe, which takes us back to the issue. No one knows how the universe was formed or where it came from.
If this was true, that doesn't debunk abiogenesis or evolution. Maybe a God made the world. I can accept that if there's evidence or proof, whatever, but they're not going to do much. These kids, these teenagers need to get a real life. Get a job, baby. I'm joking.
What happened before the Big Bang is thought to be irrelevant because it was before our understanding of physics. There was no space, matter, or time.
If you've just admitted scientists have no idea how the Big Bang could have occurred, how can you be certain there is no God?
I would agree with them on this part. There could be a God, but I don't see any evidence of a God, so I'm not going to believe it.
How can you be certain the entire rest of the theory is correct when it's based on the belief that either everything came from nothing or that it is eternal when both are scientific and
I debunked that already. The universe could shrink, or expand, shrink. How do you know it doesn't do that?
impossibilities?
Maybe scientists just haven't found the answer yet. Either way, it's more scientific than a belief in God.
Well, God accounts for what science can't. Genesis 1:1 states that
What?
in the beginning, time, God created the heavens, space, and the earth, matter. Either God made us or nothing made everything.
I'm not saying I know nothing made everything, but why not? there's already something. Maybe universes just pop out of nothing and they just expand and they exist for the rest of eternity. How would you know? You're just gonna believe an old book made by people who don't know what science even is. Those people, all they had were little swords. We've got nukes now. I trust the civilization with nukes, not the one with swords. Come on.
You were created
Preach. Preach. Preach.
by a loving God who wants to know you. We all were. And I think deep down, we all know that. That's
Oh, no. I don't know that God loves me and is real. I just have to go to hell for not worshiping him. You're just full of crap, girl.
why we're kind to others, why we fall in love, why we feel sad when we see other people hurting. If we're just stardust, then
So God made us suffer. He made it where we could suffer, but he made it where we hate suffering. Wow. What an intelligent God. Oh.
none of this matters.
Oh.
This is so much more than a scientific theory. It's your life.
Your life is God, even though he does not real. Unless you want to prove him real, maybe. Well, he could be real. He could be real. But I really doubt the Christian version of God. It would be a God that we don't know much about, really.
Wait, so all that's been found of Sahelanthropus chidensis is a deformed skull, some teeth, a jawbone, and based on just that, scientists are absolutely certain it's a human ancestor?
I think I might agree on this one. Tell me what y'all think in the comments. We have so many incomplete skeletons. We have a lot of complete ones, or almost complete ones. They probably suggest evolution to me, but there's some of these creatures that's like, oh, I found a tooth, it must be this big thing. I don't know. Tell me. Hold on, let me rewind it.
Found of Sahelanthropus chidensis is a deformed skull, some teeth, a jawbone.
Are you sure this? Maybe you're right, Phantom. I'm just saying. I think I might agree with them on this one. Maybe. I'm just saying. If all you found were some teeth of me, how would you know what I looked like? For all you know, I could have a missing arm. How would you know? Especially if there's no way to test the genes of the tooth. How would you know what the whole body looked like? We humans have similar teeth to other creatures that lived in the fossil record, right? Like Neanderthals, heck, even a chimp, right? What do y'all say?
And based on just that,
At least you didn't say I imagine, because Ken will use that against us unfairly. I guess that's all Ken does. Oh, they go come from Hoven. The foot bones connected to the Hoven.
scientists are absolutely certain it's a human ancestor?
Well, Sahelanthropus did live over
Yeah, because we don't need the canines anymore, so they kind of shrink and change shape. They don't really do much anymore. Kind of visit, whatever. Proof of evolution to me, or at least something that would suggest it. Come on.
6 million years ago. The fact that we have any fossils of this species is impressive.
But we have nearly 30 complete T-Rex skeletons, all
T-Rex is way bigger, so it's hard for the scavengers to take its bones away. If it goes into a tar pit, like, it's probably gonna survive to today. What kind of argument is this?
of which are supposed to have lasted millions of years longer than these supposed human fossils.
True, but T-Rex bones are far bigger and more durable than hominids.
We also have 1,000 fossilized bats, the oldest of which is dated by evolutionists to be 53 million years old. So,
Oh, I'm sorry.
Wait, so
1,000 fossilized bats can remain identifiable for supposedly millions of years. But when it comes to human evolution, we should believe that no complete human transitional ancestor has ever been found.
and what about all the
I don't know. I think I might agree with them on this point. Sometimes scientists just jump to conclusions, but it's usually the creationists that do that, and they're not very good scientists. Just tell me in the comments what y'all think.
animals we see in the fossil record that have undergone no changes in the space?
Okay, I disagree with them on this part. Things, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
and of supposedly
Preach, Phantom, preach. These creationists are wrong in this part. Preach, preach, preach.
millions of years, like koalas, aardvarks, horseshoe crabs, and coelacanths.
I don't know. That's a good point. Perhaps they have a slower evolutionary rate or enjoy stable environments.
Like Darwin said, innumerable transitional forms must have existed. Why
Maybe that's the part where I disagree with Darwin. Maybe we don't need tons of stuff. I don't
Why
know.
do we not find them embedded in countless numbers in the crust of the earth?
Where's the evidence of God? Ooh, roasted.
And like the curator of American Museum of Natural History said, you could fit all the fossil evidence for human evolution in the back of a pickup truck. That's not much to go on. And if humans really
I bet he's lying. Or misquote, whatever.
evolved, there would be dump trucks full of transitional fossils, going from an
Fossils are rare to find. So, deal with it, creationists, deal with it.
ape-like creature to man.
Or like paleontologist Colin Patterson said, if I knew of any evolutionary transitions, fossil or living, I would have included them in my book on evolution.
Or, as paleontologist Stephen Stanley noted, the known fossil record fails to document a single example of phyletic evolution accomplishing a major morphological transition, and hence offers no evidence that the gradualistic model can be valid.
The human evolution fossil record contains 200 overturned ape-man species. With each ape-man that's discovered and then disproven, the theory of human evolution gets rewritten.
Oops, wrong button. Yeah, I should look up those quotes.
Crabs and coelacanths.
I don't know. That's a good point. Perhaps they have a slower evolutionary rate or enjoy stable environments.
Like Darwin said, innumerable transitional forms must
How do you spell it? Innumerable. I have a lot of typos. Sorry, y'all. How do I share this? I want to share something. I can't share. Okay. Okay. I got this Google Bard. I don't know if that's reliable. Yes, Charles Darwin acknowledged that the lack of numerous transitional forms in the fossil record was a significant challenge to his theory of gradual evolution. He questioned why a species descended from through fine gradations, innumerable transitional forms were not really apparent everywhere, and why nature was in confusion instead of having a well-defined species. Let's see, I'm not reading all that. How do I share this with y'all? Uh-oh. Yeah, fair enough. I don't need to share the... I'll go for the other quotes.
have existed. Why do we not find them embedded in countless numbers in the crust of the earth?
And like the curator of American Museum of Natural History said, you could fit all the fossil evidence for human evolution in the back of a pickup truck.
I have to go, hold on.
Embedded in countless numbers in the crust of the earth.
And like the curator of American Museum of Natural History said,
I'm not a good typer or a writer. How do y'all spell curator? Thank you. Much appreciated. Oh, typo. Gotta go back. Oh, there we go. I made some typos. Oh my goodness, he said yes. The robot is saying yes. It's a little confusing. It is important to understand the context of such statement, which highlights the fragmentary nature of the fossil record of human evolution. Paleontologists like Ashley Hammond, who is the current biological anthropology curator at the American Museum of Natural History, emphasizes the scarcity of complete skeletons compared to fragments. The limited nature of complete fossil specimens makes the study of human origins inherently challenging and reliant on careful analysis of available evidence and ongoing discoveries. I mean, little is better than nothing, right? Come on.
You could fit all the fossil evidence for human evolution in the back of a pickup truck. That's not much to go on. And
you have nothing for the Bible. That's not much going on, is it?
If humans really evolved, there would be dump trucks full of transitional fossils, going from an ape-like creature to man.
I think you made a typo. Oh, agreed on that one. I think someone made a typo.
Or like,
isn't archaeology the study of ancient human civilization? Like, come on, bro.
paleontologist Colin Patterson said, if I knew of any evolutionary transitions, fossil or living,
I bet this quote is from years ago and therefore it don't matter.
I would have included them in my book on evolution.
Or, as paleontologist Stephen Stanley noted, the known fossil record fails to document a single example of phyletic evolution accomplishing...
What is phyletic evolution? Okay, phyletic evolution, also known as anagenesis, refers to the evolutionary process where a single lineage changes over time, gradually transforming into a new species without branching or splitting. Okay.
A major morphological...
I would have included them in my any evolutionary transitions, fossil or living. I would have included them in my book on evolution.
Or, as paleontologist Stephen Stanley noted, the known fossil record fails to document a single example of phyletic evolution accomplishing a major morphological transition, and hence offers no evidence that the gradualistic model can be valid.
I'm having a doubt that that's what the guy said. Let me rewind that.
Going from an ape-like... That's not much to go on. And if humans really evolved, there would be dump trucks full of transitional fossils, going from an ape-like creature to man.
These people are so silly. Good. Interesting. Dang. I don't always trust certain modern medicines. I question certain things, but when it comes to vaccines, I want every vaccine there is. I don't mess around with rabies, Ebola, COVID. I don't. I want every vaccine there is. If you got one, I'm gonna just take it from you.
Or like paleontologist Colin Patterson said, if I
I'll steal it from y'all. It's mine now.
knew of any evolutionary transitions, fossil or living, I would have included them in my book on evolution.
Or, as paleontologist Stephen Stanley noted, the known fossil record fails to document a single example of phyletic evolution accomplishing a major morphological transition, and and hence offers no evidence that the gradualistic model can be valid.
No, I'll see you later, Thomas. He's a cheeky one. Percy is green and lots of fun. Or however the song went for Thomas the Train. Mwah. See you later.
The human evolution fossil record contains 200 overturned ape-man species. With each ape-man that's discovered and then disproven, the theory of human evolution gets rewritten all over again. In fact, after 166 years of studying human evolution, seems like the only thing that's evolving is the theory itself.
What's wrong with the theory changing, bro? Bruh. Bruh.
Wait.
I don't trust you. Spanking. I don't trust you. Stop lying. Oh, we got this here. Hold on, I said yes. That's a good thing. What are you talking about? Because I dozed off. I was focusing on this video over here. I was focusing on this here.
Here are my top.
Oh, you're talking about how theories change over time. I get it. Yeah, I agree.
5 favorite pieces of evidence for the existence of God. Number 1, moral absolutes.
I don't buy a word of that.
Some things are just absolutely wrong. And if they're wrong for all of us, then somebody had to tell us it's wrong
Don't believe the word of that.
beyond us. And that somebody is God. Number 2, order and design.
Order? You just assumed it was designed. There's your problem.
Look at this path. A human mind designed it. In the same way, we as humans are ordered and designed. Number 3, life always comes from life. Whether it's a plant life or an animal life or a human life, we all come from life. And there had to be an original life giver.
Why can't abiogenesis have done anything? Seriously, why couldn't a single cell come out of chemical reaction? This guy is crazy.
God. Number 4, logic.
You don't know how it works except for God. It's got the gaps, right?
I know this is a bench because there's rules to being a bench, and those rules had to come from a rule giver.
What?
God. Number 5, the personal had to come from a person. If I told this tree, I love you, tree, could the tree love me back? No. Nature does not give us love. God is love. Feel free to comment where you think everything came from, and let me know if you want me to dive deep into any one of these points.
Yep. This woman here is crazy. It's not just benches. Phantom, it's not just bench. I mean, in a way, maybe gender is not well defined either. No, so is sex. It's not everyone. Not everyone's male or female. Some people are intersex. Some people are intersex, but one of their organs don't work properly. It's crazy. It's just, I've never changed my mind on the moral absolute thing. It's like I just know he's wrong. He wants to do what God wants, which God is probably just made of character. At least his one is.
God does not.
Are dogs made by God? No, they're bred by humans, these little rascals.
Milo here was made by God, just like you and me. Milo here was made by God, just...
I don't buy this stuff, bro. Bruh. Bruh. Bruh.
Museums today still have displays showing what they call vestigial hip bones and whales.
Here we go again. It changed its purpose. That's vestigial. Come on. It's not proof of God. It's not.
They say that these supposed hip bones.
Notice how nothing else has that? It's just the whales and dolphins and whatever that have that. No fish has that to my knowledge. Why? Because they don't need it. Well, as many. It's evolution. Come on.
Are useless today, and they were just part of the bones that formed the legs and hips from their earlier ancestors who walked on land. But did you know what the Journal of Evolution published about 10 years ago? They said these aren't leftover hip bones at all. They're actually called claspers. These are necessary for mating while whales are swimming underwater. Whales could not reproduce without them. No claspers, no baby whales.
You sure they couldn't just stick the hot dog out? Come on.
It turns out they have nothing to do with evolution and
How do you know they have nothing to do with evolution?
everything to do with an intelligent designer who knew they would need these claspers from the beginning. For more, visit genesisimpact.com.
Plants for hire. SpongeBob reference. Do y'all love SpongeBob? I love SpongeBob. He has imagination like those creationists.
Why are there?
For years, Darwin's finches have been used as proof for evolution. The finch beaks and feet varied island by island, supposedly supporting evolution because nature was selecting the fittest birds to survive and reproduce. This doesn't prove evolution. It just shows that the finches were adapting to the food sources in their environments. A recent
What? Hold on, let's rewind that.
The food sources in their environments. A recent study shows that the finches were adapting to the food sources in their environments. It doesn't prove evolution. It's birds to survive and reproduce.
What?
This doesn't prove evolution. It just shows that the finches were adapting to the food sources in their environments. A recent study
What? That's what evolution is, you dumbass. Preach, Phantom, preach.
tracked over 1,000 finches and demonstrated that epigenetic mechanisms changed their feet and beak sizes and shapes within even a generation without making any changes to their DNA.
Maybe they evolved to be able to do that. Maybe, how do you know they didn't evolve to that? This woman's crazy.
So rather than proving evolution,
You're just assuming God of the Bible. Why couldn't it be the Hindu God or something? This woman is crazy, y'all. I'm telling y'all. Believe, trust me, she's crazy.
this is actually showing that God built in these adaptive mechanisms from the
No.
start, so that creatures could track and adapt to their environment changes, filling the earth just as their creator commanded. For more, visit Genesis Impact.
For more, watch Genesis. We're not lying to you. I'm pretty. Come on, girl, you're crazy. What would y'all like to see next? Oh, I've only got 2 viewers. This has been going on for an hour. How about we do another one later? I'm gonna go eat some dinner. What do y'all say? See you later, alligator? What happened? Did I do something wrong? Or are you talking about that crazy lady? Yeah, I need to go eat some dinner. Well, I love y'all. Okay. Y'all have a good one. See you later.